Take a look around McGill campus. What do you see? Bikes. Bikes everywhere, locked to trees, to lampposts, even to the McGill fence. Did you know that between 2000 and 2010, the number of people who use a bike as a regular mode of transportation increased from 25 to 53%? There's a noticeable increase in people's will to try to live a more sustainable lifestyle. And most people are doing this by choosing to bike instead of driving to work, because it makes less of an impact on the environment. The City of Montreal and McGill are experiencing this increase in bikes. So to encourage this new lifestyle, we need to adapt and make it easier for those who bike so that they don't give up this change. The McGill Campus Space and Planning Department approached 4 mechanical engineering students and challenged them to come up with a new kind of bike rack for McGill campus. Why a new bike rack when we have one already? Here's why. We have damaged bikes, we have stolen bikes, misused racks where you see 3 or 4 bikes jammed into one spot, and also they just don't accommodate the space that's needed. As a young team of engineering students, our challenge was to develop and manufacture a solution. But first, we needed to ask a few questions. First of all, we need to connect with the user's needs. What are bicyclists looking for when they're parking their bike? What problems do they encounter? We then have to look at the solution. What solutions are there other than the current solution? And why isn't the current solution working? We decided to conduct a survey at McGill campus to better understand the needs of cyclists. What were the 2 things that stuck out most? Safety and space. We also researched to find out what the rest of the world was doing and looked for inspiration around the globe. What we quickly realized was that we weren't using all of the space we were already given. With all of this new information, we went to our sketchbooks and came up with almost 20 different designs. We then went through a process of elimination to figure out what design best fit all of the needs. It is through this elimination process that something occurred to us. Think for a moment of an island that has a sudden increase in population. What would you do if you were the city and wanted to give everyone a home? That's right, you'd build skyscrapers. Although we don't want to build a rack up to the sky, we did think, why not go vertical? Going vertical is the answer, but it has one little problem, and that's our friend gravity. So we went back to our drawing boards and decided to look at exactly what requirements our project needed to fulfill. So first of all, it needs to make the user feel safe enough to leave their bike there. Second, it needs to use the space efficiently, but also be ergonomic and easy to use. And finally, we want it to be attractive so that it encourages people to bike and use our bike rack. After going back and forth with a handful of ideas and tweaking them here and there, we finally came up with the Velocurve. Keeping the vulnerable locking points at eye level is an automatic repellent for these. Think of the following. If at nighttime you see a guy hunched over by a bike, is he locking his bike, or is that a saw in his hand that you see? Well, that's the problem. You don't exactly see what he's doing that close to the ground. Now imagine someone doing the same thing on a Velocurve. If he had a saw in his hand, you would definitely see it because it's at eye level. The Velocurve is designed so that there's no way you could park it wrong. No way that someone else could lock onto your bike or scratch it while doing so. We designed it so that the most vulnerable parts, which are the frame and the front wheel, can lock to the rack no matter what size of your bicycle. We did this by keeping each bike on its own individual ramp, with a swiveling locking point to allow any adult bicycle to fit. We designed Velocurve to be flexible and modular, so that you have the freedom to place it in a circle, as it is in front of Redpath right now, or you can place numerous ramps side by side up against a building, or even create a semicircle or quarter circle at the corner of a building. Or you could even install it hugging a tree. Our main goal behind creating this new bike rack was to help maintain and encourage the new lifestyle our society is moving towards. With the Velocurve, we not only came up with a solution that addressed the problem, but we also did it by adding a touch of modern art to our landscapes. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback, and that has been the drive and motivation of our project. We were approached by many people who want to see this rack outside, and this made us realize that if we really want to, we could take this outside of the classroom. We did just that and are now a part of a small startup, namely VeloCyko. The core of our startup is based on 3 simple yet powerful words: adapt, innovate, and change. Would you like to find out more about how you can get involved with VeloCyko? There are many ways you can do so. Visit us at www.velocyko.com or our Facebook and Twitter pages. That's VeloCyko. You can even write to us at info@velocyko.com. Thank you for your support.